to all fours. Stretch the legs back. Bring one leg forwards, roughly getting a right angle at the knee. Lift the back knee off the floor and move the hips towards the ground whilst keeping the chest upright, like so. Inching your way back with the rear foot so the hips get lower and lower to the ground. Okay, once you're there, we're going to do a little bit of thoracic rotation as well. We're going to roll our hand under and reach. And we're going to roll up and reach for the sky. So we're reaching across, a bit further, and reaching up. Breathing, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Aim to get the shoulder closer to the floor each time. Again, lift the knee and just drop and lift. So we're getting closer and closer to the floor with your buttocks and this hip here. Try leaning slightly different angles to get a bit more stretch through the glute. Swap that over. Other leg through. Starting off tall, lifting the chest, back knee off the floor, gradually lowering, hip toward the ground, hip toward the ground. Okay, big deep breath in, and then out as we reach across. To increase that stretch down here, you can lift the knee, back knee off the floor a little. Really lean into that glute. There we go. And changing the angles, pushing the hip out, and then try pushing the other hip down into the ground. Let's do that with a few repetitions now. So we'll go. Twist for 2 or 3. And swap. Next up we're going to go into some iron crosses with some open books. For this one, I'll lie down into a cross position, lifting the leg up, rolling over towards the hand and back. About 5 each side just to loosen off through. Low back to start with. Hold, a little pressure on the knee, keeping the shoulders on the ground. We're now going to go into an open book. So come across to close the book, back to open, keeping pressure on this knee. Trying to reach back and get the shoulders right down to the ground. Again, you can spend a little bit more or less time in whichever stretch you feel you need to. This time we're going over the other side. Put the pressure on the knee, out, and back. next one, we're going to do some side lying 90 degrees at the hip and knee open books. So for this one, lying on your side, we're going to bring our knees forwards. So we've got right angle at the hip, right angle at the knee. Placing left hand on right knee, same principle again. Back and forth, stretching out through that thoracic spine, keep quite a tight grip on here. Do 5 to 10 of those and then swap sides. Right angles again, pressure on the knee. And then last couple now, we're going to do some 3-point kneeling, similar to what we did with the pigeons before. So starting off with 4-point kneeling, into 3, reaching under, reaching up. That's it, driving up toward the ceiling, trying to go a bit further each time. This can be quite nice with a foam roller here to roll your arm across and get a little bit more movement on the underside. Swap over. We can do this. Elbows. Down toward the floor. Trying to open up as much as you can. This one can feel a bit more restricted. Requires the muscles to work a bit harder to get the movement because you can't swing with the same momentum as a long arm. And our last one. This one's quite difficult. I'm going to come up from this position here now. Trying to get rotation whilst keeping the forearm on the floor. Isolates it higher up the thoracic spine compared to the other version. As you see, my left side has got very little mobility and requires quite a bit of work. Okay, and that's about us for today, guys. Hopefully that'll help you feel a bit looser. Give that a go. Again, mix up the amount of time you spend on each area depending on how much you feel you need to use a particular stretch. You'll find some hit those tighter spots a bit more than others, so see how you go.